How much budget do I need to travel to Istanbul? This is one of the most common questions every traveler has. In today's video, I'm going to break down an approximate budget where I include the most visited attractions, accommodation, transportation, foods, and of course, daily tours. So if you're ready, let's get started. I want to start with the attractions that most of tourists visit. So let's go first with Topkapı Palace. This one, it costs 750 Turkish liras, only the palace. But if you want to combine a ticket, there is one available where you can include the Hagia Irene and also the harem inside the palace. And for the three of them cost at the moment 950 Turkish liras per person. Hagia Sophia is free. Blue Mosque as well is free. Basilica Cistern at the moment is 350 Turkish liras per person. The Hippodrome of Constantinople as well is totally free of charge. Süleymaniye Mosque is free. Grand Bazaar free. Spice Bazaar free. Galata Tower is 650 Turkish liras per person. And the Bosphorus tour, for this experience, of course, it will depend which ferry company you're gonna get, if it's Turiol or Şehir Hatları. But when it comes to Turiol, that one is 130 Turkish liras at the moment per person, and that one departs from Eminönü Port. But I'm gonna be sharing here in the pinned comment and in the description box the official websites where you can check the updated fees for these Bosphorus tours. And the last main attraction is the Maiden's Tower, and that one is 550 Turkish liras per person. As you can see, many of these main attractions are free of charge, so you can do plenty of things in the city, including the very touristy places and non-touristy places, just for free. Of course, if you want to walk on Istiklal Street, Taksim Square, Kadıköy, and many other neighborhoods like Balat, Kuzguncuk, Eyüp Sultan, those ones of course are free of charge. Another important thing that you need to keep in mind when traveling to Istanbul and anywhere in the world, of course, is the accommodation. And accommodation probably is one of the expenses that we really need to put a lot of money into. So that will be our biggest expense of every trip. So when it comes to Istanbul, nowadays, because of the inflation, of course, like accommodation is not as affordable as before. Even some people have also shared in comments in many of my videos that they don't feel that Istanbul is as cheap as some months ago even. But of course, these prices will depend a lot on the season you plan on traveling to, if it's high season, shoulder season, or low season. And also it depends a lot on the area that you're planning on staying in the city. But according to the research that I was doing online from websites like Booking.com and Hotels.com, I found hotels, for example, for September of this year, which is considered like mid-season, even a little bit high season still, and I found many hotels for one person, let's say from $20 and of course $100, $200. So you can expect to pay between $20 if you are on a low budget, like budget friendly. Mid-budget, you can expect to pay between $80 to $120, and if you have a high budget, of course you can pay $500 up to $1,000. But those are like already the very famous hotels in the city. And by the way, if you are looking for hotels that we are recommending in the city, which are for every budget, budget friendly, mid-budget, and high-end budget, we have many hotels recommendations that me as Bery Istanbul Tips, we recommend you. So if you want to check them out, I will leave the link in the description box and pinned comment of our Thatch guide, where we have probably like 70 hotels that we recommend you. The next one, of course, it's going to be transportation, and Istanbul is still considered a budget-friendly when it comes to transportation, at least if we compare it to many other cities, especially in Europe. So in Istanbul, you can expect to pay for metros, buses, some ferry lines, cable cars, trams, about 10 Turkish liras per person, only one single trip. And also remember that in order to use the public transportation in the city, you have to get the Istanbul card. And for that Istanbul card, right now, just for the plastic, you can buy it for 60 Turkish liras. And you can get this Istanbul card at any of the yellow machines that you're gonna find in the tram lines, metro stations, ferry ports, and many other public transportation. So it is very easy to find them. Also, those machines will have languages in like Spanish, English, and many others. However, when it comes to taxis, let me tell you that they are not that affordable as you believe. In Istanbul, you cannot really have like an approximate rate how much are you gonna pay, because drivers, they just tell you whatever they want. Even if you see on the apps like Taxi or Uber, which is of course working here, but it also works with yellow taxis. So at the end of the day, even though the app gives you one rate, the drivers are gonna give you like a total different rate, and of course it's gonna be much higher. And this is not just for tourists. Trust me, also Turkish citizens and us residents living here, it's very difficult really finding a taxi. So that's why I tell you, do not rely on taxis, because also the public transportation here in Istanbul is very convenient. And maybe at the beginning it might seem a little bit intimidating, but once that you're here, you will find that it's very easy to reach many points of the city by public transportation. As well, the main touristy areas like Beyoğlu and the Old Peninsula and Kadıköy on the Asian side are very well connected by public transportation. And we're going to my favorite expense, and this is food. So for this one, to be honest, it's a bit difficult because every week the prices are changing. Even it's difficult for us keeping up with the prices, because today I'm gonna tell you one price, an approximate price, but maybe next week or even tomorrow the prices will be totally different because of the inflation. This is not because they're scamming you or they are ripping off. It is like a mix of everything. It's the inflation that we are all suffering here, but also certain places tend to increase the prices even more, especially in touristy areas. So according to that, let's give you some approximate. So if you're planning on eating, let's say in Sultanahmet area, Istiklal Street or Taksim Square, which are the most touristy areas in the city, you can expect to pay for, let's say for one kebab, maybe 350 Turkish liras per person, because the prices of course are much higher. However, if you go outside of those areas and you go, let's say, to Beşiktaş or Kadıköy on the Asian side, you will find a little bit more affordable prices, but don't get excited. It's not that affordable anymore, because in our case, we live on the Asian side. It is a very local area and prices are so high. Even we get surprised. So we cannot eat for two people for less than 250 liras, even 300 liras for two people. So you can kind of compare with that. How are the prices now in Istanbul? And when I say, for example, in local areas like 300 Turkish liras for two people, and when I say expensive, it's because when we compare it to the local currency, which is Turkish liras, and of course the minimum salary wage, which is 11,000 Turkish liras monthly, this is a very high price for many Turkish people to pay at a restaurant. But of course, when you exchange that 300 Turkish liras into euros or even dollars, in dollars I think it's like $10-11, it's not that much. But of course, when we think in the local currency, that is a lot. Also, I know that some of my followers, they have already visited Istanbul a couple of times. So let me know in comments below, how do you find Istanbul nowadays, especially with food? Is it still affordable? Or even though with the inflation, and when you exchange that amount into your currency, euros or dollars, how is it? Is it still expensive or is it affordable? So let me know in comments below. Now let's move on to the next expense, and this is going to be tours. First of all, I'm going to start with the most common one and the one that most of tourists decide to join. These are the group tours, those ones that usually 20 or even 30 people all at once go together and visit places. These are all city tours, not those packages that include airfare tickets, hotels. No, these are only city tours. You can expect to pay between, I don't know, maybe $50 to $80 per person for a city tour. And when it comes to the private tours, of course, those ones are going to be more expensive. But the service is totally personalized and all the attention is only for you. And for those ones, you can expect to pay per person between $120 to even $150. And of course, depending on the number of people that are going to book, the price is going to be decreasing. And if you're looking for private city tours in Istanbul, let me tell you that my husband, who is a licensed tour guide, and myself are already providing these tour services. At the moment, we are already fully booked for the month of September and part of November. So if you're coming in August or in December and the upcoming months, feel free to contact us through the website and WhatsApp number that I'm gonna share in the description box and pinned comment of this video. There on the website, you'll be able to see all the prices, what's included, what's not included. But if you have more questions, feel free to contact us through the WhatsApp number provided on the website. Now that you already know the main expenses and the approximate budget you need to travel in Istanbul, now you can finally plan accordingly for your travel. And yeah, it's true that Istanbul and the prices, because of the inflation that we are living nowadays, many things have really increased a lot. But still, if we compare Istanbul to many other European cities, Istanbul is still an affordable city to travel to. If you liked the video and found it useful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this about Istanbul and Turkey in general every week. See you next time. Bye bye.